Please don't adjust your device. This is what you're looking at. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat, South America. Hey, I apologize for staggering it. Tommy was on one. Great show. I had to be there. Thank you for being here. Cindy G, Geeky CR, good to see you. My man Brock Bandy, Barella, the one and only Kristen Melinda, Aaron DiGiorno, Arwa, Johnny's Vlogs, Dilrod. All right, I appreciate you guys being here. Do me a favor. You know what I'm going to ask you to do, so do it for me. Come on. Pull the okey doke on the algorithm. The way we do that is by hitting the like button. Roberta, good to see you. Hello all. Missed chatting last night, but listen, my favorite song is Goodbye to Rome. It's a great song. My family here knows if that song is on repeat, I'm working through things. Yeah. I think everybody might have a song like that. I have a song like that. I have certain songs I just can't listen to. And when I happen to hear it, it's a wrap. It absolutely alters the remainder of my day. It is what it is. So I'm going to wait just a minute before we get started. Last night, what cats, I kiss my cat all the time. Cats can't do that. So they bite. So last night in the middle of the night, she got me in the palm right there. I'm telling you, I was mad at her. Sleeping. It's just going to happen like that. Barbara Waite, good to see you. Jimmy Pickles, good to see you. Lisa Trimble, thank you for being here. Look at that. Cindy G was notified today. The bell changed and the setting helped. Happy dance. Katie's doing the happy dance, running around like she won something. All right, so this is an interesting one. See? You know what? I'm going to film. She didn't do this when Tommy was live at all. Yes, I know. All right, so you saw the thumbnail. We're going to talk a little bit about Ozzy today. Kind of an interesting thing. It affected a lot of people. Kind of a crazy thing. So what we're talking about is we're all on the train. We are all on a crazy train. His ride came to an end yesterday. It's kind of a crazy thing. 1 minute, you're rocking it. If you look at the path of Ozzy, how the changes in that dude. A couple lessons that we can learn from Ozzy Osbourne. Guy had a great voice. Like him or not, I don't care if you don't like the guy or like that kind of music, but boy, that guy could sing. Jane, so good to see you. I'm the monk. Good to see you. Sauce Hoss Josh. Say that 5 times. The concept was designed by him, no doubt, or the concert. Yeah, I think so. I think you're probably right. He and Kenny Rogers, my favorite musicians. Kenny Rogers is pretty cool. Ozzy has been singing, here we go. Ozzy has been singing Mama, I'm Coming Home in My Head since we watched the farewell show 2 weeks ago. That was a heavy deal. I think everybody kind of knew what that was. That was his farewell. It's kind of interesting. But boy, oh boy, let's talk about that. Here's what I want. A couple things I made notes. So I'm going to kind of go by my notes here. Number one, the one thing we all need to remember is how fast life, you blink and it's over. You know what I mean? If you look at the thumbnail, he was this guy, and then we watched it happen. If you have kids, we all know that, right? My birthdays don't make me feel old, but boy, my kids' birthdays really do. But how much of his, I'm not picking on the guy. This is a sensitive one to do because I don't want anyone to think I'm dumping on Ozzy, but we can use his life as an example of ours. His life flew by. You know what I mean? Jeffrey Williams, good to see you. Thank you for being here. His life flew by. Yours is too. Mine is too. It's flying by, whether we realize it or not. Josh Cohen, good morning, Cohen family. I know Riley Rose is probably not there, but if she is, hi, Riley. Our lives dance by, and I'm telling you, it's life. What did David Lee Roth? Life is what happens when you're making other plans. Johnny's Vlogs, thank you. I just want everybody not to sleepwalk through their lives, because I have times like I do that. And I think all of us, here's the thing: if it's happening to you, it's happening to everybody. It's part of the human condition. There's very few people that are experiencing something absolutely unusual. We're human, and this is part of the gig. Try not to be aware, live on purpose. Unpredictable Tony. Time has sure sped up these days. Life is flying by. It's the truth, man. It really, really is. Just had a baby in June. Congratulations. He's about to be 2 months old. Congratulations, Tony. You know what? My little baby, I was holding her. The doctor handed her to me yesterday. She was this big. She was teeny, and she was beautiful. This week, she started her freshman year in medical school. Not pre-med, but medical school. I don't know how that happened. I was 16 yesterday. Look at me now. Look at myself. I was shaving this morning. I'm like, staring at that face for a long time. And I'm like, how did this happen? How did we get here? You guys ever feel like that? It's bizarre. It's an interesting point Caroline makes. Ozzy lived his life in public. We non-public people have lives too. I know. And you know what? Here's the thing. Whether you got a see, when you live in public, when you're in front of the public eye, people watch your rise. They watch you get old. I mean, it's amazing. But whether you got a camera in front of you or not, we're all in it. We're all going through the same thing. It's true. I'm happy for you, Tony. That's an exciting thing. Kids make us feel old for sure. Here's what you need to do. Don't sleepwalk through your lives. Wake up, feel something, be something. It's live on purpose. I'm telling you, it's, so much of my life, I was just not even going through the motions, just kind of loafing through. It's a crazy thing. Celebrate, we have to, I think it's a hard one to do, but we need to celebrate what shapes us. And this part of it is embracing. Like, I'm good at embracing my failures. I'm not so good at embracing my successes, but we need to celebrate the things that shape us and make us what we are, Here's the thing. If you look at Ozzy, and please understand this, I really love his music. I'm a fan, but Ozzy glorified darkness. He wore it like a crown. That was his identity. What we need to do is celebrate light. I think we need to do. I think that's one of the things that's happening around. There's so many people that are choosing to celebrate light. They're choosing to be a light. The world is a dark place. It's morning here, but I'll tell you what. I was saying to somebody I love very dearly yesterday, I an email that they're a light in a dimly lit world. Be that light for somebody. You know why? When you live a light, what it does is it builds a legacy. And you know what? No matter, here's the thing I don't think people realize. You don't have to be a rock star to build a legacy. You don't have to be somebody famous to build a legacy. Every one of us is building a legacy, whether we realize it or not. That's a scary thing. J.H. Bassoon, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. You ever think about that? Do you guys ever think about your legacy? What kind of legacy are you leaving? Marty Mongoose, good morning. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Indeed. The 48, I remember when I first listened to Ozzy when I was younger. I can't remember the song. Every time I think of the first song I listened to. First song I ever heard by Ozzy, I don't either, but the first one that floored me was Crazy Train. I'm a guitarist, and I was just like that. You know what? You got to love Ozzy. He always had amazing guitarists. It's a cool thing. Hot Sauce Josh, no doubt it's flying by. Another of my childhood rock legends gone into the history books. Everybody that's watching right now, we're in a unique spot because we grew up with the greatest music. Sorry, if you're young, today's music sucks. It's not even music. Humans aren't even making it. Do you know for years AI has been writing songs? They've been writing songs, and then that music is being given to bands, and they're creating it. AI has been doing this for a long time. It's the truth. But we're in a unique spot because if you think of all the greatest rock legends, we're watching them get old. I mean, if you think about it, all of the greatest legends, we're going to watch them pass. It's kind of heavy. We're all on a crazy train, right? And I got news for you. The ride ends. You don't get a warning. They don't say, next stop. The ride is going to come to an end with no warning. That's why you got Benny Hill. You know what Benny Hill said one day? It's a funny quote. You guys know who Benny Hill is? He said, live every day like it's your last. One day, you're going to be right. It's kind of an interesting thing. I think about Ozzy. I want to believe that was shtick. I want to believe that that he wasn't as dark. And that was just his, that was his shtick. I listen, I'm a big fan of Alice Cooper. Tommy and I have seen him twice. Tommy, Alice Cooper is a believer. He's a Christian. It's shtick what he did, what he does. Because he still does. He's a great frontman. I want to believe that Ozzy, it was shtick. You know what I mean? But boy, he celebrated it. It says in that we're all on the crazy train. Everybody got a ticket, but none of us know when the last stop is. So what we all need to do is say what needs to be said. Because we all have things we live in the moment, say what needs to be said. If you got something, if there's a bridge you need to mend it. Everybody that's listening to me right now, you got somebody in your life that your relationship is fractured. It's up. Again, it's part of the human condition. Mend them. We've gotten to a place where it's easier to burn a bridge and figure out a different route than to rebuild one. You know what I mean? I think we need to rebuild. We need to build bridges. Jigsaw, good morning. Thank you for being here. First, the 48. Why do I say the first? It's that TV show. The song came to mind is "Close Your Eyes Forever" with Lita Ford. Lita Ford was awesome. I had an inappropriate crush on Lita Ford for a while. Hot sauce, Josh. Just glad you got the chance to live intentionally, Johnny. It's life changing, and you can't. If you can, it's okay. Everyone has a path, and not everyone gets a chance to go intentionally. Yeah, some people don't wake up. I was watching. Who sang the song? Man, Rick James. I was reading about him. When he died, he had like 13 different drugs in his system, like not good ones, like not like illicit drugs in his system. And I was reading about him, and he said he never had a sober day. I didn't even know the guy. I wasn't the biggest fan. I swear to you, when I read that, I wanted to cry for the guy. Can you imagine that? Never having a sober day. If I had 1,000 lifetimes to choose to live, I wouldn't choose to live one like that. I wouldn't. And that's sad to me. We do only get one trip. It's crazy. And when it ends, it ends. I said, we're all going to leave a legacy. And it's the truth, whether you believe it or not. You're going to leave a legacy. It has nothing to do with volume. It's value. The legacy is value. If a little kid hands you a phone, like a remote control, what do you do with it? I don't care how old you are. Hello? We have to it's so easy to get away from what matters. The world wants you to get away from what matters. They want to distract you, and they want what they want you to matter. They want you to adopt that and take that. The operating system of the brain is whatever you see and the frequency you see it or hear is your marching orders. That's why I frequently talk about garbage in, garbage out. Like, what are you consuming, beverages or anything else? Content. What are you consuming? I used to watch. I have a friend. I'm not gonna say. I have a friend who watches gore videos. He's on this. He has this site. One day I was looking over his shoulder. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What is that? I said, why do you watch that? It's dark and evil. He goes, I think it's funny. I gotta tell you something. It's going to affect you. Whatever you look at, it's going to affect you. Ozzy was loud. He was amazing, but he was loud. Now he's gone. But what remains? It isn't the noise; it's the impact that he made. Right. So what we're going to leave, the impact is relationships. Your message. The meaning behind your message. Here's the thing: whether you have a message or not, you have a message by how you conduct yourself. It's the truth. And people are watching. Like, it's a scary thing being a content creator because people watch. And I've had some horrible days where I've said terrible. I didn't act or carry myself or conduct myself the way I should have. And I think about that. The videos are still there. I had one video where I'm hammered, lit, drunk in the video. And that's the only video I ever deactivated the comments. I didn't right away. I was so in the moment, I didn't realize how messed up I was. I started reading the first 3 or 4 comments. I was like, oh, crap. I didn't know how to do it. So I quickly got on the computer. How do I deactivate comments? Now, I could take that video down. I didn't leave it up for the views or anything else. It's part of me. It's part of what happened. It's there. I own it. And I'm not taking it down. I should probably, I should have been a man and left the comments up and owned it fully. But I didn't. But it's part of it, But that's my legacy. I've said this a lot in the past. I don't know if you've heard me. How many versions of you are out there are you? How many do you have? What I mean by that is if they're like Jesse Pinkman, how cool. It wasn't Live Leak. I know what you're talking about. It wasn't Live Leak. It was one of those gore channels, but like I can't imagine, Anyway, how many versions do you like versions of you are out there? With me, there's the drunk version, the guy that slept in a coffin at college. And the reason I say there's a version of me out there, there are people that knew me then. We went like this, and they never saw me again. And they may be at a cocktail party. Well, man, I knew a dude who slept in a coffin. That's their image. That's who I am to them. Then there's the guy that I was the tennis pro. I taught tennis at 15 professionally. There's so many versions of me out there. I'm 59 years old. There's the guy that was drunk. There's the guy that did, you name the drug. Honestly, I was a missionary in Russia. So there's that version. I want as few number of versions of me out there as possible. I want to be consistent as can be. That's really important to me. I don't know. I really think about that. Joel Latchin. Good to see you, man. It's Joel in Chicago. I didn't know that was your last name, dude. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. How many versions do you have? Ozzy's got Ozzy doesn't really have that many versions of him, if you think about it. I only know one. It may have been Ogrish. But golly, man, why do you, that's horrible to me. Moises Jimenez, good to see you. Jeremy Fowler, good to see you. Who am I missing? Mark, you're a good dude, man. Good morning. Here's another big one. Don't be a spectator on your own train. All right? Don't be a spectator. The world doesn't need more background characters. You know what I mean? Live in the present, Hug people around you. Tell the ones that you love them. The ones that you have problems with that you don't, fix it or move on. But laugh louder, Don't be afraid to pray out loud. Don't hide your light. I'm telling you, man, I'm going through it. It's funny. Every day I think we're all going through it, but man, I need to be better. But I'm going to be, that's an interesting thing. I don't, at my age, it's really funny when you get old. I know I'm not old, but here's what happens. At this stage of my life, I don't have time to be around people who aren't trying to better who they are. You know what I mean? If you're just loafing through life, I can't share air with you. Now, when people I'm making videos, there are people that watch me that don't subscribe to my kind of thinking, and that's fine. But in my circle, there's nobody in my circle that isn't actively trying to become a better human being. I promise you, I don't have time to share. You know why? If I hang around with people that have the mindset that they aren't trying to better themselves, my God, that could rub off on me. Tommy said that in his last video. He was just live. He said, I have the most addictive personality of anybody you know. It's probably the truth. Anything I do hard. But I've been going through these crazy, honestly, this really amazing paradigm shift and these aha moments. Anita Edwards, good morning. If you've watched me for any length of time, I'm talking about it a lot still because it's still very powerful to me. It's still very in my face, but the word influencer was troublesome to me. People would call me an influencer, and I really didn't like it. I get that. Every time someone would say, "Oh, you're an influencer," oh my God, I just wanted to take a shower. Because I would think about other influencers and the two I use are like the Tate brothers or the Paul brothers. Like those are skeevy guys. I don't like the way they are. I don't like the message they send. They're fake. They take advantage of people. They abuse people. I can't be like that. So when I hear influencer, I think of them. I'm like, God, please don't call me. Call me a drunk. Call me a junkie. There's a lot of things you can call me. Don't call me an influencer. Then I made this video where I talked about why the big changes that are happening in my life are happening. And then the emails the next day and the comments my God. And here's the brutal truth of it. I am an influencer. But before you say I'm arrogant or anything else, you are an influencer. We all are influencers. I kid you not. When I was bad and doing terrible things, I was a criminal. If you don't think I was influencing people, I was, just not in a good way. So it's very, very important to me that the vibe I put out, the message I put out, number one, is consistent. I don't want 1,000 versions of me out there. But I want to be positive. It's really, really important to me about that. Cindy G, build bridges. Don't forget to keep your peace as well. It's a hard thing, having peace in this life is a difficult thing. It doesn't happen by accident. Like happiness is an inside job. It doesn't just happen. And there are people, and when I've been, listen, in my life, there have been times where it's so dark. If somebody had approached me that day and said, hey, dude, happiness is a choice, I probably would have knocked his teeth out. You know what I mean? It depends on where you are in life, how you're going to receive that message. I promise you, happiness is a choice. There are people, right? There's 50 people, 51 people here. There are people here that are hearing that. Some people are going, you're right. Some people are going, it's easy for you to say. It's hard, but it's a choice. And there are steps you can make to make that choice easier. Tommy talks about journaling all the time. I journal every day. We get up, the first thing we do is journal together. I mean, he's journaling. I'm doing it. We have coffee. Journaling is important. It really, really is. And if you don't do it, you need to start doing it. Tommy, he has a series in the morning he's doing now all about journaling and starting your day the right way. But every successful person I know journals. That doesn't mean that there are people that are super successful that don't journal. TH, good to see you. But every person I know that's successful journals. I hate the term, who are they influencing? Yeah, well, here's the thing. Look at Jesse Pinkman. I'm going to come back to you just a second. But Jesse Pinkman, I hate the term, like, who are they influencing? I agree with you, but you're influencing somebody, Jesse. You are. Every single person in this chat is influencing somebody. And if you have a camera in front of you, you could be influencing a lot of people. You know how many views this silly channel has? They're almost 32 million. It's a heavy thing when you think about it. Like, I want to do it right. Barbara says it was easier for me to handle my parents' death because there was no unfinished business between us. Thank God, right? That's an important thing. That's what I'm saying. If you've got something to say, say it. Say it, say it, say it. If you've got something you need to fix, fix it. But live on purpose. Jigsaw, it's funny how Keith Richards is still alive and outlived Ozzy. He's done more drugs. I don't know who's done more drugs, but yeah, we have to start thinking about what kind of world we're going to live to Keith Richards. He's still around. It's phenomenal. I was talking about him yesterday. Look at his hands. They're the most gnarled things. He's got something he's doing. I don't know if he's doing it right, but it's an interesting thing. Lisa, what do you do when you try to mend bridges and it doesn't work with your sisters? Like, here's the thing. Now, I'm going to tell you what I would do. It isn't necessarily what everybody would do. I would pray about it. There are people in this chat. I promise you there are people in this chat that are believers. I promise you there are people watching right now that didn't like what I just said. Sorry, I'm just being honest. To me, I pray about it. I pray about it a lot. If you knew the things that are happening in my life, things that are happening right now are a result of me praying and other people praying. Prayer works. Communication, Lisa, I have found is the most important thing, whether it's neighboring countries, wives, businesses, parents to children. Communication is so important because when you don't communicate, you know what happens, right? Especially if you have sisters. If you don't communicate, the longer you don't communicate, the wider that gap gets. And then you both may not even be clear about what the issues are. Maybe you are, but offer the olive branch and talk, but don't give up. You know what I mean? Especially if it's on your heart. Don't give up. You have my number. Let's talk about that later for sure. Barella says Metallica, like them or not, was on tour a couple weeks ago. Crazy to think they're still touring at their age. Look at Mick Jagger is still touring. Have you guys ever? This is totally off subject. Have you guys ever seen the video? Lenny. You know what, Lenny? I got news for you. I don't know if you're just saying that for a gas, but you're not. I hate to tell you that. In my lifetime, I've met two people that told me that they were God and they meant it. I think you're just kind of trolling and trying to have a laugh or disrupt things. But I got news for you. Not only are you not God, but you need to know God. I'm not sure if you are. I couldn't even type something like that out. It isn't in me to even do that. And I'm kind of scared for you. I'm going to keep my eye on you. And the next time you say something like that, I'm going to politely usher you out of here. My email is chasetheheat@gmail.com, and you can email me and we can talk about that. So mods, if you see that again, you know what to do. Dale Cox, good to see you. Mike Chiliesimo, good to see you. See, Ozzy, you used to do drugs and alcohol. too in his life until he got sober. Listen, the most important thing is getting sober. From a guy who spent a lot of time addicted, a lot of time in a foggy haze, I can tell you that life sober is better. Marty Mongoose, it's very sad that Ozzy's gone. It's definitely had an impact. It sure has. Somebody said to me yesterday, left a comment and said, Ozzy's death is not helping my sobriety. I got to tell you something. My dad died. If Ozzy's death is affecting your sobriety, email me. You got to. Please email me. It's important. Mark, I love you, dude. Good morning, Johnny. Thanks for doing this tribute. This hurts almost as much as when Dio died. I was way bigger fan of Ozzy than Dio. Only this is, yeah, we kind of expected that. Dio's came out of nowhere, didn't it? It's a tough one, you know, but like I said earlier, because of our age, the greatest rock stars in the world we're going to watch them pass. We need to get ready for it. It's part of life, you know. It's brutal. Do you think Ozzy had three persona? One for home, one for the road, and one for people you love. I think we all wear different faces, don't we? You know, I try to, here's the thing. Anybody who knows me in my personal life will tell you that what you see right now is exactly who I am. Brock, are you still here, Brock? Kristen Melinda. You guys, what I am, I don't wear, I don't have a different costume that I put on. So to a degree, I know he had to have, because he was a showman, right? And I'm sure the showman he was not who he was when the cameras were off and everybody went home and he went home to his family or went to the next tour on the bus. He was probably somebody different. I don't know. So I don't know if he had three. I know that we all have several. You know, I was a chameleon for so long. I was whatever I needed to be in the moment. I was really, really good at it. I don't want to be a chameleon. You know what I mean? Didn't make me feel good. Barella, being good at doing bad things. Yeah, man. There was a time in my life where nobody was better at being good at doing bad things than I was. Kristen Melinda. Thank you. Brock Bandy. I'm not Brock, man. We broke bread. We spent time together. I can't wear a costume. You know why? It's the most disingenuous thing in the world. Imagine if you ever hear the expression, don't meet your heroes. If somebody met me and I was totally different than what they kind of enjoyed when they watched videos, that'd be a horrible thing. Kristen, everyone is an influencer. Even if you only have one person you talk to, your words, how you treat them have a ripple effects. True. How you affect them affects everyone else they come in contact with. It is. It's so true. It really, really is. And here's a scary thing. There are people that won't believe that. It's terrifying. It's true whether you believe it or not. Honestly, it is. Cindy, all right. Almost here. Are both boat and bus. I will sadly be missing tomorrow morning. Sad over my missing, but I have a group on trauma education. That's important. I'm glad you're doing that. Listen, here's the great thing about this silly thing that I do for a living. It's never going to stop. You know, and I'm going to be long gone, and these videos will still be here. Fowler. I used to think the Kingmaker nickname was more funny than anything, but after hearing you explain why you don't like it, 100% get it now. That was rough, man. It was rough. It was rough because it bummed me out. It was rough because everybody who saw it just made them hate me more. It's the truth. If you don't know what he's talking about, I was in that silly little show called Super Hot, The Spicy World of Pepper People, and they were making a trailer for the show, and the person who created it said, "You got to watch this. Check it out." And they called me a chili kingmaker. They said I was Elvis Presley of eating peppers. It was like brutal. So I said to him, "Dude, you can't do that. You got to change that." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm not." He said, "You may not think you are, but you are." I said, "I'm not." But anyway, he then took that. Not only did he not make it the trailer, they called me that 4 or 5 more than that throughout the whole thing. And for the people, a lot of people wanted to be in that and weren't. And for those people, it made them grit their teeth and left a bad taste in their mouth. That's a bummer. Don't switch off. Praise Yeshua, fellow believer. Amen. You know what? Years ago, I would never have talked about this. I would never have talked about my faith on a video for fear of what people do. May be offended by that. And you think I care? Missile Smokes, good to see you. I've been going through an interesting thing lately. And part of it is because I have, been doing this a long time. I'm not really doing it for, views or subs or anything like that. But if any message I say bothers you, first of all, I'm sorry it bothered you. feel free not to watch again. I don't mind. I'm not saying this to everybody here. Maybe somebody here, but people are going to watch this after. I'm not trying to, never did this for subscribers or views or to get rich and famous. I did it to have fun. The fun went away for a period of time, but now it's back and I have a renewed purpose. Josh, pointing to the cross should be our goal daily. It is for me. It takes courage to do this directly, but you can't do it indirectly through your actions. Yeah. Either way, he is all we have. It goes for me as well. I've said this a lot. I don't mind. I don't hide the fact that I'm a believer, but I would rather my actions I'd rather people see it in my actions, like honestly, than lip service. Since I've been doing this channel, I've probably had maybe a dozen comments where someone said, "Are you a Christian? I kind of have a feeling." That's important to me. It's what's funny. Even saying that is going to offend people. Do you know if you're happy, unhappy people hate happy people. Negative people hate positive people. So anytime you have a positive, if you're positive and that's kind of how you are and how you try to be, you're going to have people that are negative that hate that. Now, if you're not a content creator, then those people are just going to kind of avoid you. But if you're a content creator, you become a target. But I'm tough. I can take it. All right, Lisa, you are who you are. You're there and everywhere. Thank you, Lisa. You're biased. You love me, and that's why you're saying that, but I'll take it. You smile at someone in line at the store. It might be the difference between them giving up or keep going. Boy, how about it, right? You never know what something like a simple gesture of opening a door or being kind, even to somebody you don't ever know, will make a difference. That's the truth. Here we go. Off topic. How was your steak? You know what? I'm never going to that restaurant again. Tommy and I have decided. Never again. It was horrible. It was a terrible steak. It's the truth. It was not a good steak. It wasn't cooked. Here's the thing. They put things in the steak. Like if you're going to order a filet mignon, it's not that expensive, so it sounds like an exotic meal, but a filet mignon, if they're going to have a gravy with mushrooms and all kinds of stuff, they might want to put that on the menu so you know what's coming. Very, very odd. The sad thing is they make a wicked ceviche. I'm not going there again. So anyway, here's the thing. Everybody is looking, whether you think it or not, people are looking at you. You are going to leave a legacy, whether you think you are or you're not. You're going to affect people. You are an influencer, whether you think you are or you're not. It's the truth. I swear to God it is. As a result, we need to carry it. All right, you may not care, and that's okay if you don't. But if you're somebody who that resonates with you at all, that's, we have to live on purpose, because if you live by accident, the legacy you're going to leave isn't the one you're going to want to leave. The way you influence people isn't going to the way that, live on purpose. Whatever with Keemstar and LCU. Thomas Goff. Good to see you, Thomas Goff. Are you ready for this? I don't know who Keemstar is. But I'm going to take a picture of that comment. As soon as we get off the phone, I'm going to look that up. Here's the thing. This is what I do. And I don't watch TV. I used to, but I don't anymore. I probably should, but I don't. I keep my head down and do what I do. So I will look into that though. But so we're going to wrap this thing up. Ozzy. I want to believe that what he did was just shtick, but we're all on a crazy train. We are. Nobody knows when the next stop is. No one knows where the last stop is, right? So let's think about that. It's important. Brandon, just realizing now that you're streaming, glad I caught you live. This will give me something to listen to while I try to recover from being under the weather. I'm sorry you're under the weather. It's a bummer. Hope you feel better. Mark, it almost seems like TV is obsolete. You know what? I remember saying probably 15 years ago that we're watching the death throes of television. Can I tell you something? I picked 3 or 4 of my favorite content creators, and they have a greater reach than MSNBC, CBS, and Fox News put together. They're irrelevant. You know why they're irrelevant? Everybody knows they're full of crap. Everybody knows that they're. Why do you think they call it programs? At least they were honest about it. I don't have a TV. I have a TV in my house, but we don't watch TV. Tricky, good to see you. David Hicks, good to see you. He loved Ozzy. Yeah, you know, TV's done. I don't think people believe any of it. Taylor O'Brien, good to see you. Man, I gotta get off this and go look at Keemstar. You know, when somebody says, like, do you like this reference? I don't know who they are. You know what I feel like? I feel like my dad when I would say, do you like Ozzy, Dad? Getting old. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, people, listen, I love you. Please be kind, right? Live on purpose. If there's somebody that you have a fractured relationship with, try to fix it. If there's something that you need to say to somebody, say it. You know what I mean? None of us are going to live forever. I promise you, every one of us has an appointment with death. There's no way of getting around it. I kind of thought you meant you can point people. I should have corrected myself in the moment. Yeah, you can, and by your actions or by how you carry yourself. Okay, here we go. Keemstar ran drama alarm on YouTube. You know, it's interesting. I definitely will look into that. I promise. Here's the thing. There are 65 million YouTube channels. Do you guys know that? Isn't that crazy? 65 million. Mind-boggling. And there'll be 50,000 new channels today. You know what that tells you, though? What does that tell you? Everybody wants to be what? You can say rich or famous. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Whether you have a channel or not, you're an influencer. It's the truth. So be kind today. Remember that people are watching you, especially kids. Kids, listen, they're sponges are wicked dry, and they soak up everything that they see. So when you're around children, say the right thing. Please. Kelly, God bless, brother. Thank you, Kelly, for being here. Look at that. Anita Edwards. I'd rather live the rest of my days happy and free. Boy, me too. Me too. Moises Jimenez. Johnny's like my big bro. Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. These pretzels are making me thirsty. All right. I appreciate you all. Be kind. Tomorrow we'll do this again. It'll be a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more uplifting because I'm not going to be talking about the passing of somebody. With that, Josh says, there's a freight train coming for all of us. Embrace the race and trust in him. Do that. And if you have any questions, you want to know more about what I believe, this is never going to become a religious channel, but if you want to know what I believe, email me. We'll talk about it. I have no problem with that. You guys be kind. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm also going to be here tonight, so please stop by. I'm Johnny Scoville. This is Chase the Heat, South America.